फर्दर इसकी कुछ और एप्लीकेशंस हम देखते हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, एफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, काई डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस। ये क्वेश्चन नंबर है 5.16 कुसेल एंड बर्जर की बुक का। द स्टेटमेंट, let xi, that is I varies from 1 to 3, which means we have only 3 values x1, x2 up to x3, be independent with normal distribution, and the mean of this, that is I, and variance is I square. For each of the following situations, use xi's to construct the statistic with indicated distributions. So first part is that chi square with 3 degree of freedom. Second part, that is T distribution with 2 degree of freedom, and the third part is that is F distribution with 1 and 2 degree of freedom. So how we proceed that? Just recall that Z I, that is xi minus mu over sigma I, which is a normal, standardized normal. As we know that, we have already proved that z square is if z is a standard normal, then the distribution of z square, that is a chi-square distribution. Then z1 is a chi-square with 1 degree of freedom. And if z1 and z2 and up to zn are independent, then we also already proved that the distribution of w, that is z1 square plus z2 square plus up to so on zn square, that is also a chi-square distribution with n degree of freedom. Here we have the values of x, that is x1, x2 up to x3. So we can deduce this as w is equal to sum I varies from 1 to 3, as we have only 3 values, that is zi square, and that is equal to sum I varies from 1 to 3, and here we assume that z is xi with mean is I, as given in our scenario, square over I square. And this is basically the chi-square distribution. As I said that this is a normal distribution, and that is chi-square with 3 degree of freedom. Similarly, we can solve the part B by the definition of the T distribution. We know that T basically the ratio of the standard normal and the square root of the chi-square distribution. So we can write it as U over T over, V over P, where we know that U is a standardized normal distribution with mean 0 and variance 1, and V is a chi-square distribution with P degree of freedom. So we can write it as, in terms of the given scenario, as that is mu, that is mu basically a standard normal distribution. So हमने mu को in term of I लिखना है, क्योंकि जो हमें given scenario दिया गया है वो I की form में दिया गया है. तो how we can write it as xi minus I is basically the mean, divide by I, and divide V जो है ये chi-square distribution है. तो how we can write it as, that is sum I varies from 2 to 3, because one variable is used here. The rest of the 2 variables can be written as I varies from 2 to 3. That is xi minus I over I whole square, divide by 2, because we have only 2 variables, and whole under root. And this is basically the T distribution with 2 degree of freedom, because we have only 2 observations here. Similarly, we can prove the C part on the same line, that is by the definition of the F distribution, that is the ratio of the 2 chi-square distribution, that is U over P and V over Q, where U and V are independent chi-square with P and Q degree of freedom. Now, using the given scenario, we can write it F as, that is xi minus mu, which is I, divide by I whole square, and divide by their respective degree of freedom. Here we use only the one variable, so its degree of freedom is 1. And similarly for the second one, that is I varies from 2 to 3, that is xi minus I over I whole square, divide by rest of the variables are 2, so we divide it by 2. So this is basically the F distribution with 1 and 2 degree of freedom.